immediately I felt like there was something weird, because, you know, there's always drinks, you know, the vodka and the mixer is just like sitting on the table, but we walk in and immediately Diddy hands me a drink, Kanye hands Lauren a drink, and we're like, that's weird. Like, why are they serving us? And I don't like to drink. Like, I don't like alcohol. I don't like the way that it like makes me feel. It makes me feel sick. So, but my manager, since the beginning, she was just like, I know you don't like to drink, but if someone famous hands you something to drink, even if you don't want it, just like hold it and like pretend, because you don't want to seem rude. And I was like, okay. And it was like a vodka cranberry, and I was like, oh, gross. And so I'm just standing there with my back against the console, just like pretending to sip this drink. And I'm like, I'm not fucking drinking. Gross. And my manager was sitting across on this couch with Kanye's cousin, and then the other girls were sitting next to her. And immediately I was like, there's something fucking wrong. Like, I couldn't explain it. I didn't know what to do. But I just like felt that there was something not right. But I didn't fucking know what to do. I was 19 years old, like just left home a year ago, new in the industry. Yeah, I didn't know what to do, but I knew that there was something wrong, basically. And I was standing there pretending to sip this drink, and my manager was sitting across from me. And, you know, if you know about like my past and like us being together, like, she's very much reserved, and people would always say like, oh, she's such a bitch, she has like a resting bitch face, and it's because she has like severe anxiety. Like, she just wants to like sit in the corner and like tap on her phone and like not talk to anyone. So she's not a bitch, she's just very shy. And I see her across the room holding her drink, and it was weird because I noticed as I was standing there just kind of just like wondering what's going on, Diddy kept looking at me, and Kanye kept looking at Lauren, and like they were exchanging glances, and I'm like, they're like watching me strangely. And I'm like, okay, let me pretend to drink, and like I'm not actually doing it. And like that seemed to like make them happy, like me like pretending to like join in. And immediately I'm like, there's something fucking in this drink. There's something in this drink. And I didn't know what to do. And I like, my manager was like across the room, but like close enough, but like not next to me, so I couldn't like whisper to her. But I wanted to tell her, I'm like, hey, don't fucking drink this. There's something wrong with this. But I couldn't. So I reach for my phone and I start to type, and Kanye takes the phone out of my hands and he's like, who are you texting? Like, you don't need to text anyone. Like, we're having a party. And I was like, okay. And he like puts it on one of the speakers. And I'm like, fuck, God help me. What do I do? And as my eyes were closed, this is going to sound weird because I bet a lot of you are wondering, like, how the fuck did you get out of this situation? My eyes were closed and I prayed. And I said, God, what do I do? And it was like clear as day. I heard this in my head. And it didn't make any sense. I heard, go towards them. And I was like, oh, fucking great. The one time I asked God for help, Satan answers, because why the fuck would I go towards these two predators who are sexually assaulting me? Like, why would I do that? And then all of a sudden it clicked. My back was up against the glass wall. I could not go any further back. That was the only exit. He said, go towards them. They were already drunk off their shit. They were fucked up. So I lunged forward. I stepped forward, and it like threw them off balance. Like, they were like, oh, you know, and like they stepped back at least 1.5 feet. And the moment that they did, I reached behind my back, I pulled the door, and I slipped out, grabbing my clothes. And I ran across the hall, across this corridor, and I hid inside of an empty studio that was black. And I sat there for like 20-25 minutes, just like crying, like, what the fuck do I do? And I'm texting my manager, and she's not answering. And eventually, I don't think I'm supposed to say this next part because it could hurt her case, but basically, everything she fucking said is true, basically. Because what I saw next, I fucking saw it. I was the only one who wasn't drugged. I was the only one who didn't drink their drinks, whatever. So I saw what happened next and who was involved. And that's why I'm a part of this lawsuit and like named in it. And yeah, it just, that, I mean, I got us both out, and I got us in an Uber, and she obviously didn't remember anything because she was drugged and I wasn't. And apart from the aspect of, you know, looking for help and they turned away, the only other thing that really, really fucks with me is, what about all those other girls that were there? Those 9 other girls who were drinking the drinks before we even got there. Like, I know none of them got out. I know none of them got saved that night. And I'm like, did they fucking remember? Did they even know what happened to them? Moral of the fucking story, stay out of the industry. If you have daughters, make sure to tell them that they're idols. They should never meet and should never fucking go to the studio with anyone, even if you're invited there as an artist, unless you have a body. You know, I thought I'd feel better after telling that story, but I really don't. But I guess the point is that, I mean, the same shit happened with Cassie. As soon as she said what happened, no one believed her and they gave her so much shit. And it wasn't until videos came out and more people stepped forward that people were like, oh, she was telling the truth. And I'm here to warn you guys that more people are going to come forward. So believe her when she's talking right now.
15, 16. It's foggy. A lot happened that night, and I went really numb. And if there's videos or if there's anything that could go from that, then pull them. Because we all know that there's so many cameras around. So I can try to post the affidavits and I can put out what happened, but at the same time, what am I supposed to do? When nobody's really asking about the kids that are present in these parties now and were then, because they're really just going after all the adults, which I'm happy that we're finally here, and I'm grateful that we're finally pulling the names that need to be pulled and the big fishes that need to be pulled. But at the same time, nobody's asking about the kids and who else is really there. And no, it's just not about all these dudes having sex. They need people to fluff them, which are hand jobs and blow jobs. And those are the kids on the party favors desk. And then on top of that, there's this big ass wheel, and they make it like a carnival thing, and they literally strap you to a wheel and spin it. And then after a certain time, there's sex with animals. And then after a certain time, you have no idea what's happening because you're numb. And if you throw up like I did, then your face is going to be rubbed in and you're going to have to eat it. And then people look at that as a sick fetish too. Blood is a fetish. Throw up is a fetish. Shit is a fetish. So, I have DID. I went numb after a while. There's a reason for all of my splits, but I just went numb after a minute. And there's times where I just checked out. You can check out for a few hours while somebody is messing with you. It exists because if you start fighting them back, then you're gonna suffocate or it's gonna hurt worse. So well, for me personally, I checked out. That's how I'm still sitting here. So yeah. And that's not the only thing, because after so many hours of dealing with people, people assaulting you, after so many hours of that, then if you're still okay, then they just make you go to another job like I did. So,
and I journeyed for the woods, and I was lost in the woods. I died in the woods, get back to life, and I just told God, just please kill me. I don't want to get away. I'm hungry. I was in the woods. I don't know how long I was in the woods until I made it to the barbed wire fish and beat me up. I was already beat up because before I made it to the woods, they beat that damn deal inside of me. The deal, he made Roger Bonds go by. He told that man go by that deal. They beat that deal inside of me, and I don't know. I went to the highway. I made it through the barbed wire fence, and I'm like, damn, I thought I was in the jungle. Because they kept telling me, oh, you're in the jungle. So I didn't know where the fuck I was at. I'm thinking I done ran away from Africa to America. That's what I'm thinking in my kid mind. You know what I'm saying? And this is how I wrote my police report. This is how the first police report is written. You know what I'm saying? And I get to the barbed wire fence, and I almost get hit by cars because it's the barbed wire fence. There was the freeway, and I collapsed on these trash bags. And some white man, I think his name was Samson, he and picked me up, and he drove me from Miami and took me back to New York. And when I came in there, I would beat the fuck up, and they was like, "Who did this to you?" And they was trying to He tried to get the white man. I said, he didn't do it for me. He didn't do that to me. He saved my life, and he didn't take me to the police station in Miami because I was telling him that it was like the sheriffs, the people worked for the Miami police place was doing that to me. And I was telling him, he told the police did this to me because the nigga was around police. He was around a lot of elite white people. I was like, the police did this to me. So he said that he drove me from Miami and he drove me to New York. And I remember them taking my statement. I remember I was,